Hello, hello. I don't do reaction content too often, but I saw this A Place to Call Home thing, and I thought, why not? I like World of Warcraft. I like talking about World of Warcraft. Talking about World of Warcraft's one of my favorite things to do. So I figured I'd watch this, and I have no idea what it is. I don't know. It came out 13 hours ago. I've seen a bunch of other people already reacting to it, so I'm like, why not? I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to like watch it all the way through and then talk about it, or if I'm going to like pause it in between. I kind of just, I'll just do what I feel like, I guess. Let's make it full screen here, and then let's go.
We drift like the wind, soft yet steady, carrying.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to be pausing this a bunch because I want to look at this. So we've got what looks to be a night elf druid. I want to go back to this frame. So we got. I'll zoom in on this flower with these different sprites. So we're definitely in some sort of a night elfish land, maybe Ashenvale, maybe Darkshore, something like that. And this night elf, it looks like a druid to me just because of the staff coming out from the woods with this melody that's very, very similar to the night elf war theme that we got in Cataclysm. So it's very similar. It harkens back to that a lot with that sort of like Ladrassil. It's very similar.
Soft yet steady, carrying the world in our hands.
Hold on. Where is it?
The world.
Here we got the planks along the side of the tree with the lights. So it's very much it's reminiscent to Teldrassil. How they built the buildings in Teldrassil. Like in the trees, because they didn't really do that in Estrenar or Nordrassil too much, but they did that on Teldrassil, and I've always kind of wondered why they did that, but no explanation was really given. But it is very reminiscent of the Teldrassil architecture.
In our hands.
Just a couple of small lore notes. We see her eyes are white, which actually would mean that she's a priest. Because the eye color of a night elf actually means a lot in night elfish culture, and white usually denotes that they've sort of been blessed by a loon, which would preclude them to being a priest. Not always. Sometimes they can still go the druidic route, but if they do that, then they tend to be more on the line of like a druid of the stag or something more aligned with Malorn. Not really one of the wilds. One of the wild druids, usually one of the other sects that are more into being more in tune with the moon and the light and the more calmer forces of nature rather than of the wilds. Again, like, I don't know if they actually cared that much, but that's what those eyes would have meant.
Scatter the seas, small yet heavy.
Ooh. I like
Like
that. But not because of the feet, but like what she was standing on, the ground she was standing on. Because Teldrassil and a lot of the Night Elfish areas do this sort of thing where you're actually standing on roots and rotted earth that is like it's not like ground earth. It's soil. It's decomposed foliage and whatnot. So it is a good attention to detail there. I wanted to see this. I wanted to see this. So the way that they've got the ramp going up like this, again, very reminiscent of Teldrassil or the Shadow Glen, actually where you start in as a druid. So the place being called like A Place to Call Home, I wonder if they're actually talking about like the starting zones, like Shadow Glen or the town right outside of the Shadow Glen. I forget what it's called now. It's not Estrenar. I don't remember, but it's maybe reminiscent of that. And I say that we transition here, and you can see that it's a completely different sky. We got these Murloc huts, so this is probably the wetlands or somewhere on the Eastern Kingdom. So they've actually traveled from the Kalimdor, and then they've come over to the side. So this could be like like in Classic, where when you get on the boat and you travel from Darkshore over to the wetlands, and you're traveling through that in order to get to Stormwind.
The peace.
And it's a very perilous journey. Yeah, see, this again is in the Arathi Basin, in the wetlands. This is Thoradin's Wall, isn't it? Thoradin's Crossing, something like that. This was actually destroyed in the Cataclysm, so this animation would clearly be talking about pre-Cataclysm, so it would be classic. So this I think is actually this Night Elf's journey from Teldrassil, from the Shadowglen, starting in the Shadowglen and then crossing over to the wetlands and actually making their way to Stormwind for the first time, which going by the simplicity of the outfit would make a lot of sense. So this is like the early days of a Night Elf.
We look for the dawn. We look.
So now they're in Dunmorrow, which again, if you're going through Thoradin's, if you're traveling through the wetlands, you actually end up in the lake. I forget what that place is called, the Lakelands, whatever, and you make your way through to Dunmorrow in order to actually go to Ironforge and then cross to Stormwind. So yeah, again, traveling the same road, gear is still the same, so it makes perfect sense that she would be here. I think this is the part where you're actually fighting against the Yetis in the Yeti Cave, which is one of the scarier areas if you're doing hardcore.
Look for the dawn.
Yeah, the Yetis.
Chasing his lights, familiar and bright, yet so unknown.
Yeah, and then right up the hill from the Yeti Cave is actually where the dwarves are actually practicing their guns, the firings, and there's Ironforge in the background. So yeah, this sort of transitions correctly for an early day Night Elf. Very, very nice, and it's very pretty as well. I will say I'm a little surprised there's not a road going through here, because I mean where the Yetis are is like down in a basin, so there's not really a road there. There is a camp there, but it's not the same. But there I feel like there should be a road here, because coming out from Ironforge, it sort of loops down the hill like this, and then it would have emptied out, and then there's the bridge to Karanos there. So that's a little different, but it could just be like a stylized, like it's built into the mountain, so maybe they didn't want to like make it look too well traveled, like a road properly into the dwarvish area. So, you know, a stylistic choice, but
Look for the dawn.
very pretty.
We look for the dawn.
Hanging out in the tavern. This could be. I don't think it's in Ironforge. I think it's actually in Karanos, because while it is like down hanging low with the barrel, so it would suggest that it's a dwarvish area, because you know humans and night elves are going to hit their head on that. So this was probably a dwarvish area. If you're looking out into Ironforge, this would be red, but because it's blue, it makes me think that you're still in Dunmorrow, which means that you're in Karanos right now.
Over the hills where the water is still clear from the storm.
Oh, Defias. It's the first dungeon that you would go to. So you'd come here about on level 17. So yeah, you would probably cross from Shadowglen to Teldrassil, to Darnassus, to Darkshore, and then you would probably cross from Darkshore into the wetlands around level 12 to 15. You would end up in Karanos, which is probably around the right level to be being in if you want to be around level 12 or something. And then crossing into Westfall around level 15 or so. So you'd be here. And the first dungeon is level 17, which is the Defias Brotherhood. And yeah, so you're in this cave. This is the Juggernaut that Edwin Van Cleef was going to use to try to take over Stormwind from the hidden bay. So, judging by this, we've got a party of a Prot Pally, because that is the Paladin's sort of gear, and he's got a shield, so that he would be a Prot Paladin. It's the Hunter dwarf. He's got the gun. I don't see him having a pet, so he's probably a marksmanship hunter, which I think even back in those days you did still have a pet for marksmanship, just because that was the RP of having of being a hunter. But I don't think you necessarily needed it to be a marksmanship. It was just sort of like you're hampering yourself a little bit, because you choose your back at level 10, and back in the day you had all 3 trees and you would still want a pet, but them not having a pet, it's a choice. And so that would make her the healer. Still no real confirmation of whether she's a resto druid or a priest. The outfit would make me think that she's a druid, because it looks like it's leggings instead of like a robe. So it would make me think druid, but again, the eyes sort of throw me off a little bit.
We carry the blade, cold ready, and the shadows we
Oh, skip all the way to the dark portal then. Okay. Never mind the rest of the journey, I guess. Going straight from level 17, 18, all the way to level 60. Sure. So she's got her saber mount. She looks like she's gone for the white saber mount, which means that she's got the epic version of the mount, not the lower level, which again, if she's here, then yeah, she wouldn't want the level 40 mount. But the fact that she's got a mount instead of being in a travel form, once again, makes me think of priest instead of a druid. So she's a little flip-floppy, and I'm not entirely sure which one she is. But you can see people gathering up and getting ready to go into the Dark Portals. So that's true to the Burning Crusade, because in the Burning Crusade, which green portal means it's Burning Crusade, we actually were on the offensive and going into the Dark Portal rather than them coming through. So that's correct.
remember our names.
You are not prepared. Oh, skipping Illidan and straight to the Burian Tundra. You can tell with the ice glaciers and the ship heading towards this area, this is definitely the Burian Tundra. You can tell. You can guess it a mile away. Like it looks exactly like Burian Tundra. They did a great job with that. So you level going, like, skip the Burning Crusade entirely, go straight to Wrath of the Lich King, where you're on the boat, you're heading to Burian Tundra. Interesting that they chose Burian Tundra and not Valiant's keep in the Howling Fjord, because when Wrath of the Lich King launched, you actually could go to either one. I don't remember if you could choose, or if you just got on the boat and like one went over there, one went over there randomly or something. I know that I ended up in the Burian Tundra, and I always go to the Burian Tundra first. I think my sister actually went to the other one first. I don't remember if that's because of a faction split or something. I know I played Alliance at the time. I still mostly play Alliance. I play both sides mostly. I like being neutral. I actually like the end of the faction war. I just don't like how they did it. But yeah, no, it looks great. We got Arthas. Ooh, I liked that. I liked the way that the along with the musical sting, like his eyes light up and his head moved up. I want to see that again. Something I think is really interesting. Hold on, I want to see if I can. Them. I noticed that they haven't really changed their gear all too much. He's got this very nondescript shield that sort of looks like the Argent Dawn, but at this point they would have become the Argent Crusade. You can tell that the gear hasn't really changed from vanilla, which is odd, I'll say. Like, it definitely looks like it's been added onto. Like, her shoulders have a little bit of a change. She's not wearing her proper shirt anymore. She's wearing actual armor. He's got different shoulder pads. The cloak is a little different for him, and he has also got shoulder pads. So it's slightly different, but it's more the same outfit that's just evolved slightly, which is not how it was back then. Nowadays that they have the new outfit system, now it could probably be something like that, but back then it wasn't like that at all. So,
Shielding in light, we let the light carry us home. North to the south.
okay, confirmation that she's a druid. Got it. Whoa, okay, now we're zooming. Now it's Cataclysm, into Mists of Pandaria, into Warlords of Draenor. What sword? Into the Shadowlands, into Dragonflight.
A place to call.
And now we're just reminiscing at home, which, please, I want to have a Night Elf house. We don't have, as far as I'm aware, we don't have the ability to have a Night Elf house. I want a Night Elf house. I want a house that looks exactly like, in fact, I want an entire plot of area that looks exactly like this. This is what I want for my house, with the moon well, and it's almost like a moat around that she's built her house in a moon well almost. With the Calderai arches and the glowing plants. Like, I want this exact plot for my house, and I can't have that yet, and I really want it. Ooh, the sky is different. What is this? That's not a moon. That's like the void, like the void storm almost. Why is the void storm above her house? That's odd. That's not the moon, unless it's the dark moon, in which case BFA, but that's not right. Nah, that was the void storm. What on earth is that doing above her house? That's supposed to be above the Sunwell. That was cool. I like that. The music, again, very reminiscent of the Night Elf's war theme, which is fitting considering we're following this Night Elf girl throughout the entirety of it. It's like this grand adventure from humble beginnings in Classic, like when you first create your character in the Shadow Glen, and you go on that first big adventure all the way through the wetlands, and you see all these new fantastic sights. You see like a completely different sky than you're used to for like the first 10, 15 levels of the game, which back in the day took a really long time to get through. So this is great. Very nostalgic as well. I do think that they sped up a little bit too much right at the end. Like, you go straight from level 20 to level 60, and then from there it's just like final boss, final boss, final boss, final boss, final boss. You go Illidan into the Lich King, into Deathwing, and then suddenly it throws out the final bosses altogether, and then it's just like, okay, Deathwing was the last final boss we actually gave a crap about, because now we're in Mist of Pandaria. Who cares who the final boss was in that, right? And then you see the sword. Who cares who the final boss was in that? And then like, you go to Draenor. Who cares who the final boss was in that? And this, you go to the Shadowlands. Who cares who the final boss was in that? And then you go to the Dragonflight, and who cares who the final boss was in that? And here we are at our house, and we're laughing about it. So we're reminiscing mostly about pre-Wrath of the Lich King. That's the part these guys seem to remember the most. And everything else was just like, oh yeah, remember that time we killed Deathwing? Oh yeah, remember that time we killed the Lich? Remember the time we killed the Lich King? Oh yeah, I do remember that. Remember that time we went to the Shadowlands and there was that foresty area? Yeah, that was weird. But then it's like, oh, remember that time when I first started my adventure, we had this grand, like, first beginning out into the world, and how we met for the first time. Like, that's this big tale, and then it's just like PowerPoints from then on. So I do think they sort of sped up just a little bit too much near at the end. But as a whole, I thought this was fantastic. I love that. Made me super nostalgic. And again, I want this house so badly. Not the interior so much. Her decorating isn't how I would want to decorate. Like, it does look nice, don't get me wrong. It does sort of look like a meeting of friends who would go on adventures. Like, they got the map in the center with the dagger sitting down, and they got the fire going on. But I do think it's almost a little bit of a fire hazard. Like, she's got candles right next to these vines. The candles right next to these vines. It's like, I'm not sure that I would make my house exactly like the interior like this, but her exterior is fantastic. I love this. Anyway, no, I thought this was a great video. Big thumbs up. Big thumbs up. Love that. Hell yeah. I have to agree with I haven't watched Nick Seam's reaction to this, but like the thumbnail, like the title he's got for it is just make a show already, and I absolutely agree. If you made this show in this style, I mean, if you made the show in any style, if you actually like showed things that people gave a crap about instead of Warcraft 1, don't get me wrong, Warcraft 1 story posthumously is kind of neat. But it's not what people care about. People care about from Arthas forward. They care about Arthas' storyline, Warcraft 3. They care about Illidan's storyline. They care about the classic WoW with the landscape they got there with the Dragons of Nightmare, with Ankiraj, with Cthulhu. Like the Satyrs and the Dreadlords, Lord Banehollow, like these epic tales that they've got, the Scarlet Crusade, things like that. Like, those are all super duper cool, and people would love to see the classic WoW, all those little storylines turned into a show. That would be fantastic. And then go forward from there, because, you know, the Burning Crusade had a great story, the Wrath of the Lich King had a great story. Maybe after that it gets a little iffy, but but no, like, I loved this. Absolutely fantastic. And again, I want this house. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. I don't know. If you thought I was interesting, you know, check out all my VODs and my YouTubes and in my streams and whatnot. Anyway, I'll get out of your hair. Bye-bye, everybody.